good evening, good afternoon, good night. And somewhere, at some point in this space, this world that we are in, it is at some point in that period, in that space. And right now, one of my good friends is 15 hours away, and so that's really the reason why I was thinking about saying, like, what time is it there? Okay, it's night, almost midnight, or just a little bit past that time. So I could even say good night right now because he may even see this today. This is the TechP What's the What show. I am the techpreneur for the people, Jeffrey McKinney. I am noticing a pattern that I typically shoot the TechP What's the What on Saturday on my way to the gym. And so I wanted to jump back in and get back into form because I had gotten away from that. And you know, the purpose of the TechP What's the What show is really for me to have some fun, to me to just go out and just be able to operate in an energy, in a space that is okay for my uniqueness and your uniqueness, but also share like really what I'm doing with all of my gifts. And so right now, Saturday morning, I am getting ready to go get my burn in, create some art. No. Come back up. Getting ready to jump into the gym, create some art, and is that working? Yeah, so getting ready to jump in the gym, go in, create some art. You know, it's a process for me these days to get into my flow, you know, to get into my day. And when I can start my day and create, and for me creating is such a exercise of almost like meditation, and it's where I'm able to get above whatever physical discomforts I may have at the time. You know, I've spoken pretty openly about the headaches that I have suffered from over the last, call it 3 years or so, and they've gotten better, but there are certain days that are better than others, and so you know, this process of working out and then creating allows for me to get into a space to where I can elevate above even, you know, a physical discomfort that I may be experiencing in that moment or in that time. So, and then also to be able to express whatever it is that I'm feeling, or and that's things that I'm aware of or not aware of. You know, if you think about the subconsciousness, you know, many people don't realize that their actions are a reflection of their subconsciousness. And so with every action, they're saying something about themselves. And so I'm aware of that. And I'm aware that with my action, I'm saying something about myself as well. And so I'm very, very clear about what I'm saying and what I create through my art and the meaning behind my art. And then also, if you think about the strategy and the vision of One2Gration Responsible Services, we own that word, responsible, by the way. It stands for responsible social. And so these responsible services will be offered to humanity to address the things and the challenges that impact us. And I don't want to go too deeply into each one of those because that's not what this is about. But so One2Gration, Responsible Services, we have the People's Plug, which is our nonprofit. Got some exciting news on that. Working on, it's a huge opportunity, to say the least, through the People's Plug that we're working on. We'll share more on that. And then also, to add on to that, the diverse perspectives and our strategy of over all of this layering One2Gration Media and O2G TV to be able to tell the stories of what we're doing, and allow for others to participate in demonstrating who they are, because we just discussed a moment ago, your actions are a reflection of your subconsciousness, and therefore you show who you are. You don't say it. And so it's a nice little idea to begin to ideate upon. And then once you think about putting the technology and the resources in place to support a shift towards people living and judging one another in that way, and then the impact that could have on who and why we do business with who. We can't just think that it's okay to do business with people who are not, or with businesses that are not good businesses. If the weather changed and dropped, let's just say 30%, from 100 to 70 degrees, and the norm had been 100 for the last 10 years, and now is now going to be in this area 30 degrees lower, and that was now going to be the norm, and someone knew that and they didn't tell you. When you ask, like, why wouldn't you tell people that? Like, people need to be able to have information to make decisions. Some people may like 100-degree weather. That may seem insignificant, but when it's about people's family and livelihood, like, say for instance, when you have 133,000 employees, and you know that your plan is to get down to 80,000 employees, but you're not going to tell none of them that this is your plan. You're just going to just secretly walk up and just start offing people through layoffs over a period of time, creating such a ripple that I can pretty much forecast your layoffs just as much as I can forecast your revenue, which is down. But somehow your stock price is up. Well, your stock price is up because your revenue, your profitability lever is the layoff button, bro. And then if that's your strategy, cool, that's business. But what if it ain't fair? How do we know it's fair? And who am I talking to? It's a good question. I'm not sure. Are you? But these are the things that I spend my time working on to make sure that we can get back to a point where we can just call a spade, and we can look at an opportunity to say, hey, why didn't they call a spade over there? And since they didn't call a spade over there, then we're going to go ahead and recognize and acknowledge that we got to go ahead and take care of ourselves. And when we move to offer this responsible human relations, it's been called by some of my friends as HR for the people. I mean, if you've watched this video this long, the question I would ask you is, who believes that HR is really there for them? I've got some examples. And so it's cool. We understand, someone told me, Jeff, you're really addressing a really complex issue here. I know. But it has to be done because it's a bigger problem. It's a bigger problem. And the reason I know it's a bigger problem is because it's a lifelong disability for me now. The ineffectiveness of a total system and how that impacts me and my family today. And so I had a choice to make. Was I just gonna stand up for myself, or was I gonna leverage all of my gifts? And I didn't know how, but to be able to go out, and I wanted to make sure nobody had to do this again. Not if they didn't want to. Not alone. And so here we are, on the precipice of launching, formally responsible human relations. Think about it as like HR in your pocket. And there's a whole lot that goes along with that. And it's not human resources, it's human relations. Because yes, we do have resources, but we also want to make sure that we do something slightly different than traditional human resources. We do something that is more like in your best interest. And so, with that being said, we offer those services through our One2Gration community. And then also on top of that, we have in that One2Gration community a vision for all nonprofits to be able to come there and thrive so that they can actually have access to a team of resources that can help them optimize and go out and accomplish their individual missions. That team is called Our Diverse Perspectives. And then we also envision ourselves to be the platform in which you would come to see all of this taking place and participate and see your face on the screen through O2G TV and media. So, I have lapped the gym. It's like a ritual, how I come to the gym, then I lap the gym, and then I go. So I've done that. Now I'm approaching back to the gym. And it's time for me to cut this. This is the TechP What's the What show. I am Jeff McKinney. Peace.